Ever feel like your brain is like a browser with 47 tabs open and one of them is playing music, but you cannot find which one? And one of them is also showing an error that you don't know what happened there. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're stuck in the world's most expensive simulator, your mind, testing every outcome before you move. The hidden culprit is not the lack of time or talent. It's a habit that looks smart on the surface and quietly steal your day. Today, I will show you how to turn overthinking into decisive action you can trust and have led engineering teams, coach leaders, and ship products in a messy, real-life conditions. I have helped people and myself get out of that loop and move on. I'm Saman. If you're into communication that works in the real world, leadership that feels human, and practical tools that you can use today, you are in the right place. Let's imagine you wake up, promise yourself you will finally start. You open your notes, then compare the tools, then tweak your templates, then watch one more best way to plan video. Or at work, you write the same email 5 times, you write a roadmap, then a clean air roadmap, then a color-coded roadmap. At night, you look at your to-do list, you feel heavier, you feel, I didn't begin. The cost is not just time, it's confidence. You start to doubt your instinct. You say yes to every low-impact work because it feels safer than choosing the one that matters the most. Here's the twist. The obvious reasons are all lie. You do not need a new app. You do not need a perfect system. You do not need more information. Your brain is protecting you. It's avoiding judgment, risks, and the feeling of, what if I'm wrong? Let me turn up the light. Overthinking is like a thief dressed as a bodyguard. It says, I will keep you safe if we analyze a little bit longer. I've seen brilliant teams stall for weeks debating naming conventions while competitors launch their products. I have watched leaders rewrite strategies decks for 8 rounds because they feared one tough question. I have done it too, especially when a past failures was still echoing. The real culprit is prediction addiction, the habit of running endless mental simulations to avoid the discomfort of action. It's not your intelligence that is the problem, it's a lack of switch that turned thinking into decision making. When I began leading larger teams, I noticed that the best performers did not think less. They had a ritual that ended thinking and started movement. Here's the good news. Overthinking is trainable. Your brain is doing a helpful thing. It is just doing it past the point of value. Psychology gives us 2 anchors here. The Zeigarnik effect says your brain screams about unfinished stuff, which is why loose ends hum like a neon signs. And Daniel Kahneman shows we have a fast mind and a slow mind. Overthinking is a slow mind, stuck in the first gear. We can teach it to shift. So here's the 5D switch I used with teams and my clients. Dump, define, deadline, demo, and debrief. 5 clicks from swirl to shipped. Step 1 is dump. Empty your head onto a page. Do not organize, do not edit. When idea lives in your head, they multiply. On a page, they line up. Let me give you an example. Stuck on a video, write the title, 3 bullet points, and 1 promise to the viewer. Another example is that you want to ship a feature. Write 1-page decision note with purpose, options, risks, next move. In my teams, a 2-minute brain dump before any decision cuts meeting in half. Here's how to dump work fast. Set a 2-minute timer and write without stopping. Use ugly sentences. Use fragments. Get it out of your system. Get it out of your head and onto the page. If you feel silly, you are doing it right. That feeling is the sound of your brain freeing up working memory. Step 2, define. Name the target into 1 sentence. Pick the one question that cuts the fog. Brené Brown says, clarity is kind. Be kind to your future self and decide what good means like now. Let me give you some examples. When I'm making a video, ask what is one sentence that the viewer should repeat to a friend? That line becomes your North Star. In hiring, I used what problem must this person measurably solve in the first 90 days? Now, interview have a spine. Make define concrete. Write one success sentence. Then write one failure sentence. Success. We run a 2-day prototype with 5 users. Failure. We debate for 2 weeks without no new data. When you see both, your choice gets more clear and more simple. Step 3. Deadline. Decide how long you will think, then make a decision. Parkinson wrote, work expand to fill the time available. So shrink the time, give your thinking a box, and action will fill in. Let me give you some examples. One of my teams does this 20 minutes decision blocks. 10 to gather all the facts that we already have, 5 minutes to choose which path we want to choose, and 5 to have a next step and the owner for it. Another example is spiral an email. Set a 5 minutes timer, write it down, read it once out loud, and send it. For content, I record the ugly first take in 15 minutes. The clock is a seatbelt. You go faster and stay safe. Make deadline feel safe. Tell yourself this is the first decision, not the final decision. You can always go back and change it later. The point is to exit the loop and enter the world where real data lives. Step 4, demo. Ship a tiny version today. You're not lowering standards, you are raising learning speed. Perfect is the enemy of good. Good creates feedback. Feedbacks creates great. For example, post a 60-second version of a 10-minute video. Expand based on comments. Make demo playable. Ask, what can I finish in one focused block that proves the path? Step 5 is debrief. Action without reflection is noise. Reflection without action is overthinking. Close the loop. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. Eat it while it's hot. For example, after a release, spend 15 minutes on 3 wins and 1 change. Capture the exact phrasing customer used. And another example, after a tough conversation, note the sentence that opened the door. Then reuse it. I keep a lessons note on every review that I had. And I review it every Friday. My team does the same. Our future selves always thank you. Make debrief painless. Use 5 prompts. What worked? What did not? What surprised me? What tiny upgrades will I try to do next? And what will I stop doing? Keep it under 10 minutes. The brain trusts what it can measure. The urge to overthink fades when the data replaced guesswork. A senior engineer that I coach was frozen on an architectural decision. 12 tabs of benchmarks, 6 half-written proposal. He was sharp and he tried. We ran the 5D switch. He dumped the swirl onto a page. He defined the aim with one question, and that was, which option lets us learn the most by Friday? We set a 20-minute deadline. He shipped a demo behind a feature flag for 2 internal users, and on Monday, we did a 10-minute debrief. Later on, he told me he walked into the next meeting with data, not slides. 2 months later, that path became the new standard for them. He told me the decision did not get easier, but he got clarity. Now, your turn. Where is overthinking costing you right now? Career? Content? Relationship? Health? Tell me in the comments which one of the 5D you will use today. Dump, define, deadline, demo, debrief. If this helped, like the video, subscribe and share it with one person who lives in their head more than they want to. I want to leave you with this. Here's the signal. Overthinking is not a character flaw. It's an untrained skill. When you flip the 5D switch, you move. Dump, define, deadline, demo, debrief. 5 clicks from swirl to shipped. You don't need a brave brain, you need a clearer system. Start small, start now. Action, turn the noise into knowledge. And knowledge used well becomes calmness. Let's get you moving.